Sweet Pea.
Hi, Mummy Bear.
We're back after a week off.
We are.
Have you been busy in the garden?
Not hugely.
No, too hot.
I'm going to admit that I wasn't hugely in the garden. I did try to get out there with some cooler mornings. It's nice to go out in the mornings.
You've been busy in the veg garden, though.
Yeah, I have been busy. I fed everything the other day. Fed the tomatoes, aubergines, peppers, courgettes. Because, once again, the courgettes have got loads of male flowers and not a single female flower.
We changed up so many
understand
things this year, because last year we felt they were shaded out by the squashes, which we had growing upwards.
Yeah.
We thought that
They were crammed in together.
they were too closely planted together.
And that they didn't have enough feed. So this year, in a really sunny bed, they get plenty of water because they have the irrigation system running right past them. They get plenty of sun. I then put a whole load of compost from our compost, which is really, really good.
Really good stuff.
I feed them and I've spaced them apart. So we only have 4 plants, whereas last year we had 8.
Yeah.
And still nothing is happening.
Just male flowers.
Oh, I don't know what's
They're the
going
same
on.
seeds as last year, though. Same packet.
They are the same seeds. I feel like we've just got a very dodgy pack.
I
don't
wonder
know.
if it's that, because that so far is the common denominator. We've changed everything else up.
That's a good point, yeah.
Oh, it's very sad.
It's very frustrating. But on a good note, I want to say very proud of my aubergine plants again.
Yeah.
They're doing really, really well. Flowers are coming on. And tomatoes, I changed the varieties because last year I did a whole load of purple ones because I went slightly crazy because you got me a whole load of purple tomato seeds and I thought this is absolutely brilliant.
Let's go for it.
Purple on a fruit, because tomatoes are fruits. I thought this is just going to be brilliant, so I did purely purple ones, and they took absolutely ages
They're
to
a very
fruit.
late end of season fruiter, aren't they?
And then barely got them just before the frost, so it was really bad. So I thought this year we're going to really mix them up so that we have all different seasons. So I have got these little almond shaped ones called Shimmer. I'm pretty sure it's called Shimmer, and it kind of gives a rainbow effect, like an upside down teardrop. And then I've got some Roma ones. I've also got ananas, a nice beef steak, another beef steak, but just a kind of normal red one.
The ananas is obviously very orangey yellow.
Really pretty and really juicy as well.
Very sweet.
Yeah, and I feel like there are some coming. And then I did do 1 or 2 purple ones just to have a multicoloured selection and see if I can have it going throughout the year.
Much better.
It's working as planned because at the moment we have loads of the Shimmer ones and the Roma tomatoes. They're all coming, and then the other plants are yet to grow fruit. So we're going to hopefully get a good succession.
That's exciting.
That I am excited about.
The beans are growing fast.
They are growing fast. They're a bit late because we kind of didn't get to them. We had other stuff we were doing. So they came in late, but they're doing well.
And you've collected all the purple sprouting broccoli seeds?
Yeah, I have, because they were just getting really big, and I managed to get these huge brassicas out the ground.
Yeah.
They had such thick stems.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then I, in an envelope and a little bit of kitchen roll just to keep them super duper dry, popped them in there with there was a bit of seed case around, but you can kind of, what is it called? Is it called willowing?
That
you know that
Carol
does where she
blows. What was that called?
I think it's called willowing.
Oh, we'll look that up for next week.
Yeah, need to look that up. I'm pretty sure it's called willowing. It's something with a double U. But I did a little bit of that, but I was scared that all the seeds were going to blow away. So I'm just going to wait for a bit.
You're just doing a gale force blow across the top of just everything deposited on the floor.
Oh no. Oh no, yeah. So I was just trying to go really delicately. But anyways, the veg garden is looking very good.
It's on good form, isn't it?
It is.
Lettuce is looking good.
Yeah.
Squashes the plants are looking amazing.
Oh my god, they're incredible.
They're always reliable.
Yeah.
So anything else? Onions, carrots.
They're
beetroot.
Just slowly, bit by bit, coming.
Yeah.
They probably think something I would look more into later in the season.
Plodding along.
Yeah,
we've got radishes as well.
We have got little radishes. Yeah.
Great. And really, I've been weeding and
Yeah.
strimming, and that's it really from me.
And also, talk about it, is you're trying to create a little meadow area.
Oh, yeah.
Because we walk past, we do this morning walk, little circuit that we do with Hobbsy, and we always pass the neighbours and they have this grass which they trim and mow, and then they've left this patch and there's just really delicate scabious, field scabious. I think there's some cow parsley in there.
Parsley and that yellow weed that we don't really know what it is.
Can never remember.
But the 3 colours, white,
shades,
call that a colour, purpley, blue, and the yellow look really pretty together. So I'm trying to recreate that in our garden. We just had the yellow weed, which looks as ugly as anything.
It does, doesn't it?
Before the flower comes out, because it's basically grass and then this horrible long stem with nothing on it, and it just
so
looks
annoying.
Poorly maintained.
Yeah.
Now all the yellow flowers are out. That looks pretty.
It
Cow
does.
parsley has arrived, and then I spotted 2 scabious.
Oh, brilliant.
So I've kept a patch. So I've trimmed a lot of the area, and then I've kept this meadow area between all the new bare root trees that we've put in.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And we'll see what happens. Hopefully that does something. I may consider looking at putting in some other seeds in that area as well.
Yeah, I think
to add
so.
to it. So bit by bit, it's a slow process, that one.
It is a slow process.
Right, so we have got a packed week again.
We have.
Packed episode, because a lot went on at the show.
Yeah, they decided to add in another show.
Yes, another show. Before we get on to Gardeners World, I've just got some usual gardening news.
Great.
Although it's not necessarily gardening news, but we haven't decided what to call this segment.
No, we really haven't. If you have any ideas, do tell us.
The first bit of news is it's been 2 very important birthdays this month.
Oh, yeah? It's not mine, so
it can't be that important.
No, I'm joking.
One was Monty turned 70 this month.
Oh, wowzers. Okay, that is very important.
8th of July. And arguably more important, Ned turned 3 this weekend just gone.
Sweet.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, okay. But very, very important birthday.
Happy birthday to Monty and, of course, to Ned.
Of
goes
course.
without saying. Then, talking of Ned, that dog-friendly garden that Monty did for Chelsea, that this week was installed at Battersea Dog and Cat's Home.
Nice.
And Camilla, what is she? Queen Consort?
Queen Consort?
She's patron of Battersea, and she opened it last week.
Oh, lovely, with the big ribbon.
Lovely to see it fully in place. And I think Monty says he opened it up a bit more to give more space for all the doggies to run around in.
Yeah, it seemed very compact. So when we saw it in the kind of the show garden. Of course. So yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, lovely. Would you like to hear some more innovative news from your Großmutterland, Switzerland?
Oh, nice. Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Well, Switzerland are trialling turning their train tracks into solar farms. So they see this
not their precious train tracks.
Dead space, So we're not going to hear the end of this when we see your Großmutter.
Oh, no.
Basically, in between the tracks, they're laying down solar panels.
No way.
And they're self-cleaning. I think something on the bottom of the train will keep them clean. They don't interfere with the tracks in any way.
So it goes past.
A little brush.
So cute.
A little man hanging off the back, scrubbing. But basically, they're using this unused space to put the panels in. And if the pilot is a success, they're going to roll it out across the entire railway network.
Wow, that's a big network.
Obviously not in any of those huge tunnels that they have in Switzerland, because that wouldn't be much good.
Yeah.
But it will generate up to 1 billion kilowatt hours of solar power per year.
No
And that
way.
equates to 2% of Switzerland's energy needs. So that corresponds to the consumption of 300,000 households a year.
Oh.
Isn't that amazing?
That is very, very cool.
Great idea. So go Switzerland.
Go Switzerland, fist pump. Whoop, whoop.
I'll put a link to that on our website.
Nice.
Notjustagarden.co.uk. And Sweet Pea, I have some more good news about the humble dandelion.
Oh my gosh, which is already really amazing.
Really amazing for everything. Well, some lab studies have found that dandelion root extract kills 95% of cancer cells in just 48 hours.
That is so cool.
Now, this is specifically on colon cancer cells.
Interesting.
And the research led by Dr. Siaram Pandey at the University of Windsor tested the dandelion root extract on colon cancer cells and found that the extract selectively triggered apoptosis.
Oh yes, the suicide of cancerous cells.
In the cancer cells, while leaving normal colon mucosal cells completely unharmed.
Now that is very, very cool. Gosh, that root, the root, which you find so difficult to get out of the gravel because it's just in there, isn't it?
Yes,
it's doing amazing things, actually.
Well, It is important to say that this was only found in lab studies, so this is in a lab dish, not in human patients. So it's premature to label it as a potential cure for cancer, but it's certainly the first steps, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's a pathway towards a possible...
God, how exciting. Can you imagine that?
Cure. That is so amazing.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Again, I'll put a link to that one. Absolutely love that.
Great.
Finally, a quick one. Plants cry when they're thirsty.
Oh!
So it's been found that tomato and tobacco plants make high-frequency popping sounds when stressed. For example, if they're thirsty or if you cut them.
Interesting, yes. I have heard about this possible high-frequency cry. It's like... Oh, gosh.
Well, apparently the number of sounds that they make is around 35 sounds per hour when they are thirsty or if you have cut them. But in a well-hydrated, uncut plant, it's 1 sound per hour.
Okay.
And it's the same volume as human voices, but at a frequency that most of us can't hear. But there is the assumption, therefore, that animals can hear, because they obviously can hear different frequencies.
Oh, of course.
You think of a dog whistle that we're generally not meant to hear.
Yeah.
Or those anti-rat, anti-vermin little gizmos, the ones that I put around the place. They send out this ultrasonic sound that I can't hear, but the rats are meant to have a problem with.
That is very cool, because actually I the other day I whistled to get Hobson. She'd gone out to the loo, and and I whistled and I thought to myself, I'm just going to see how high I can get my whistle to go.
You were going ultrasonic, were you?
I did. I don't know if I was going ultrasonic, but I did a whistle so much that I could barely hear anything. And she came charging over,
in.
And I thought, now there is something going on.
I think you need to do a bit more of a solid experiment
probably.
there.
She was probably just coming in on her own accord.
I think you need to check that one out.
Yeah, probably.
But you can imagine this is a pretty kind of noisy world for animals if they're around cut grass, for example. Oh my gosh.
Things. Oh no.
But they're now this discovery is opening up a whole world of research to look at the relationship between plants and animals. They have found that there's a moth that won't lay its eggs on plants that are emitting that kind of sound.
Oh.
So it's already they're seeing that that's happening. So it will be fascinating to see what else they find out about that relationship between the two.
Oh, that's really, really cool. I love that.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? Right, so Sweet Pea, any plant fun facts for this week?
Well, less of a fun fact, more of just a little bit of general knowledge about stuff. You know, we talk a lot about guerrilla planting, about how I want to go do that when I move to the city and stuff like that, because, gosh, I need a green space around me and some plants. But anyways, there was this vacant area of land in the middle of Wellington in New Zealand. And in 1978, a whole group of artists planted 180 cabbages in the form of cabbage. They wrote out cabbage with
the
cabbages.
word cabbage,
Yeah, so you can see from the sky the word cabbage.
Wow.
And everybody then, all the people who kind of lived around the block and everything, started tending to these cabbages as they got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then once they finally were correct cabbage size and people could eat them, they had this big harvest festival with poetry readings, performances, and then distribution of free coleslaw for everybody.
That's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, and if you want to see photos, you can find them in the National Library of New Zealand.
Right.
Photos of what happened in 1978.
In Wellington, the Windy City.
It's
fantastic.
I thought it was so funny, and they were like, is it art? Is it guerrilla planting? Well, I think it's a bit of both.
Anything you want it to be.
Exactly.
And everyone gets coleslaw at the end.
I thought it was very funny to plant cabbages. It's the last plant I would have thought of, but works.
But, it works, doesn't it?
And it's very pretty as well.
Yeah. I love that, Sweet Pea, thank you.
Yeah. What was your fun fact?
I have an animal fun fact. You know the anglerfish, it has this protrusion off its head with a light at the end. And
really,
it uses
really cool.
it kind of like a fishing rod to attract prey.
Yeah.
Well, there's some species of anglerfish where the male is so tiny in comparison to the female. So it's not all of them.
I have seen this.
But they're so teeny tiny, they actually end up fusing to their females.
Oh, this is very, very cool. Like, they're teeny tiny, and the female is just...
Yeah, they're just a little tiny
huge.
black fish.
Yeah.
They don't have the protrusion, so they're not able to attract prey in any way at all.
Interesting.
So what they do is they find a female and they stick onto her. They hold onto her with their toothy pegs.
Yeah.
There can also be a few other males attached to this massive female.
So just a few males around.
just clinging on for dear life.
Yeah.
And then with some species, the male becomes a permanent parasite on the female, so his little body just ends up fusing into hers.
I mean,
and he just becomes an immovable appendage. And basically, he can then just eat all the food that she attracts.
Yeah.
And what she gets in return is loads of sperm.
I don't see why that's much fun for the woman, but fine, okay, sure.
It's amazing, isn't it? But even their bloodstreams eventually connect, so there's a proper fusion of the two.
That is ultra cool.
The animal world, well, the natural world is so bizarre, isn't it? Just when we think we know everything, there's another weird thing going on.
It's always weird stuff.
Well, shall we get on with this episode?
Absolutely.
Got a lot to get through.
We have
on Gardener's World.
Yeah, a lot of show gardens, a lot of floral marquee stuff. Yep. We've got it all.
A lot of cubes.
A lot of
borders.
The cubes were funny. Right.
So this is Gardener's World 2025, episode 17 recap.
Off we go.
This week, Gardener's World is at RHS Flower Show, Wentworth, Woodhouse. It's a mouthful.
Oh, it is a mouthful, and it's a first time as well.
First time there, first time somewhere so significantly up north.
Thank the Lord, finally.
Why has that taken so long?
I don't know why. They all seem to be down kind of middle south thing.
Very much so. Is it a political thing? Is it a climate thing?
I don't know.
Maybe climate.
Maybe climate, but up north they had the bands of the
hosepipe bands.
The hosepipe bands.
Well, and actually we did get some inside intel from one of our upcoming chit-chat guests.
We did.
Can't say who.
We can't.
But it won't be too long before we hear from him or her.
Timor.
And they mentioned about the Yorkshire Hosepipe Ban, and said that Wentworth Woodhouse was exempt. But RHS did just recommend that people didn't use hosepipes.
Or used watering cans.
Design gardens. Yeah, to use watering cans.
Which I thought, like, for the long borders, for the cubes, for the Flora Marquee, possibly all right. But for the show gardens, shish kebabs, can you imagine
a lot of work
with a watering can? Gosh.
It depends where the water tanks were that they were able to get them from.
Yeah.
Or were they just filling up from a hose pipe? Don't know.
I have no idea.
I think traditionally, going back to the point of why has it taken so long, maybe it is because traditionally you couldn't get a reliable summer necessarily further up north. The further north you go naturally, the climate changes and it used to be a lot wetter there. But I think now we're fine. Yeah, with thanks to climate change, it's now a lot warmer and drier.
And also with this Wentworth one, there's the most beautiful backdrop of the building, which is huge.
Yeah. And Arit explains it has the longest facade in the UK.
Yeah, which I did not know.
Incredible. No. Anyway, just to let you know, we talk about the expense of some of the flower shows, especially Chelsea.
Yes, well, so expensive.
This is a lot more accessible to people like us who are watching the pennies.
Nice.
It's $33.85 for non-RHS members and $26.85 for members.
Oh,
so significant difference, isn't there?
Cool. That's very nice. That's acceptable.
Did you see on the facade of the house some Latin writing?
Oh.
My little Latin scholar.
Oh,
come on now.
I
thought you'd be straight onto that.
I saw something, but I didn't really look at it much.
Mea Gloria Fides.
What does that mean?
Well, you tell me.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm not that good at Latin.
Faith is my glory.
Oh, okay.
So we start off with some shots of the crowd.
We do, and oh my gosh, did I burst out laughing.
The woman with the world's biggest hat.
The biggest hat. Mm-hmm. I thought, you trying to cover your whole body in the hat.
Well, it's very sensible. You want to be completely in the shade. Just whack it on your head, you're sorted.
But that's like if you have bangs or...
Is it?
Yeah, you're constantly trying to get it out of your face. I can just imagine that flopping in front.
Oh, right, I see. There was another woman dressed as a stegosaurus with that silvery spiky shell on her back and her hair in these kind of blobs.
Oh, yes. That was actually really cool.
And then Arit introduces things. Before we get on to what she introduced, what did you think of that amazing maxi dress that she was wearing?
Ultra cool. Arit has the best fashion style ever. I look forward to seeing her on Garden as well, just to see what she's going to wear.
We know about her sartorial background, so it's no surprise. Anyway, I have tracked down that dress.
You've tracked it down.
I will put a link on our website for that one.
Yes. Brilliant.
Right, let's look at show gardens.
Show gardens. We got 3 at the beginning here.
So we had the RNIB Legacy Garden, designer Paul Hervey-Brookes.
Yeah, and Frances and Adam went round this one, had a look round.
RNIB being the Royal National Institute of Blind People.
Ah, yes. And so it's sensory garden full of
very much so.
Shapes, leaf forms, textures, all this kind of stuff.
I don't know if Frances and Adam also mentioned scent, and that was one of the things that Paul was trying to include. Was lots of variety of scent.
Yeah, and really nice decking as well to stop people falling off the side of the decking. It was all really lovely. I really liked it.
Well, they got a gold medal.
Brilliant.
And also Best Show Garden and Best Construction Award. So well done to Paul.
They boshed it.
They did. They
threw it out the park.
Is
that the saying?
Knocked it out the park.
Thank you. I'm so bad with my sayings.
You are terrible with your sayings.
Oh well.
Then we have Drakkars Drift, designer Luke Coleman.
Do you know what a Drakkar is?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, Demetrio, I thought I was going to teach you something new. It's the long ship. It's the Viking ship.
Viking ships with the dragon on.
Yeah, I love that with the little front.
Dragon head at the front.
Yeah, and so it was a mixture of Scottish and Scandinavian origins. Really cool, with a sauna and a plunge pool.
Yeah.
I thought, now that is a garden.
There was a boardwalk as well, wasn't there? Those monoliths, which had holes drilled in for the wildlife. They were metal, but they still had holes, which was great.
Yeah, very pretty, talking about the kind of rock formations, shapes and that kind of stuff.
What did you think of this one?
I thought I really, really liked it.
This is my favourite one.
Yeah, I loved the plunge pool. I thought that would be so much fun.
I loved all of it. I loved the planting as well.
Yeah, the loose strife was gorgeous.
Cheerful planting.
Very cheerful.
Well, the garden was sponsored by Edinburgh City Council and the Edinburgh Nature Network.
Nice.
And so it'll be permanently relocated to Leith as a community garden.
Cool.
They won, because we've got to remember, they were one of 3 gardens in the Young Designers category.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot.
Yeah, so
yes,
whilst they won the gold, they also
way.
won RHS Young Designer of the Year. They also won People's Choice Best Young Designer Garden and Best Construction Award.
Okay, they also threw it out the park.
They also knocked it out the park.
Yeah.
Then we have a potted history, Echoes of Rockingham, designer Sam Dryell.
All about reclaimed and brand new ceramics everywhere.
Yeah.
Which Adam really, really liked. He likes ceramics.
Apparently, I didn't know this about Adam.
I didn't either.
Well, do you know what Rockingham pottery is?
No, I don't.
This was an education for me. I'd never heard of it. Seems I should have, because Rockingham pottery was a 19th century manufacturer of porcelain of international repute, supplying fine wares and ornamental pieces to royalty and the aristocracy in Britain and overseas. As well as manufacturing porcelain and earthenware items for ordinary use. Cool. I had no clue.
Yeah, no clue whatsoever, but very, very cool.
Well, the factory, it was located in Swinton, which is near Rotherham. So very local to this. And they won a silver gilt.
Brita pads.
And then we go with the lovely Joe Swift. I so love when he's on our screens.
He is a really, really lovely presenter. He's just got such a nice way about him.
He adds so much fun and joy, doesn't he?
He does. He's got this vivacious oomph.
And down to earth. I really love Joe. Completely. And he was in the Floral Marquee.
He was.
And then we immediately went to Jamie.
We did. And this was great to see Jamie. Because we only saw him with Carol Klein when she was doing her show garden, then with Monty when he's doing his show garden. And so he's kind of been behind the scenes, I would say. And so it was nice to see him very much up front, a bit more. All forward, talking about plants, which was really lovely, and he had a very nice presenter way about him.
I really enjoyed hearing from him.
Yeah, so he talked about some kind of edimentals.
Yeah, because he talks about renting. He's renting where he is now, and he has a very small courtyard garden. So he's looking for plants that look and taste good.
Yeah, so he looked at the bronze fennel, the little Miss Figgy, nice fig plant to be in a pot. Yeah. And produces very well. And then mint, of course, which everyone knows to put in a pot, bar us, and we put it in the ground. Do not do what we did. Do not. But we didn't entirely put it in the ground. It wasn't in the ground. It was like in a mini bed. Yeah.
And Jamie also makes the point about having things in pots when you're renting so that you can take it with you, a la Nick Bailey, of course.
Exactly.
Who did that on a massive scale.
Huge scale. He must have had so many pots left over.
So yeah, I didn't think about the pots.
Yeah.
But it showed how he filled out his garden when he finally moved to his own place.
Exactly.
Beautifully with those pots.
It was amazing.
And then Joe's at Proctor's Nursery. Do you remember them?
Yes, of course I do.
It's Barry Proctor,
Yeah.
isn't it? The one who used to be a farmer.
Yeah,
And
blue
now he's
eyes.
a nurseryman. Yeah, you
Talks
remember
about
his
his
blue
blue
eyes.
eyes. Always looks like your eyes.
Oh, yes, that's right. Because he was likening it to that poppy or something that he
Yeah,
had.
there was a poppy. What was it? There
Hybridised.
was something blue,
Mm.
and the cameraman said it brings out your eyes.
Well, he's been doing really well. They've been getting gold medals at either Tatton or Chelsea or sometimes both
I mean, wow.
every year for the last 4 years.
Wow.
And he only went and got another gold at Wentworth Woodhouse as well.
Crikey, you must have a full wall of gold medals.
Yeah, I imagine so. And did you get the plant that he
Yeah.
was showing?
Well,
or that Joe mentioned?
Yeah, he showed off this new scabious called Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Really pretty, pink. When it's kind of fully open, quite large as well. And when it's closed, it's all kind of limey green.
Yeah.
So very, very pretty plant to have.
And then Jamie talks about agapanthus in pots.
Yes.
He says they love their roots being restricted, which we know
do.
from whenever Monty's trying to saw them in half.
Yeah, with a bread knife,
Yeah.
really ramming through those. And of course, what better to restrict root growth than potting it in a tuber?
No, yeah, makes complete sense to me.
Completely.
Then we've got Joe again, and he's at Dan's Plants. He has an exhibit there. And of course, if you want to hear more from Dan, we did have a chit chat with him, episode 35,
Yes.
where he told us about his dream garden, his zombie-proof garden.
And a bit of backstory about his nursery and all the stuff he's selling there.
That's probably more important than the zombie-proof garden.
Probably.
Well, he's doing another great job. I loved his exhibit with that gate and beautiful colours.
Beautiful, beautiful plants I'd never seen before. There was the Achillea Waltherfunk, never seen that one, and it's a bright orange, so obviously need to get that. And then a Verbascum pink petticoat, which I think I have heard of before, but I really, really love that peachy colour.
Peachy, wasn't it?
And I think Monty would as well. He seems to like peachy colours.
Well, two things to say about this one. First of all, did you hear Joe say that he's a bass player?
Yes.
That surprised me.
That did surprise
We
me.
need to hear more about that, Joe. And the other thing is that Dan's done a beautiful job. He got a gold.
Oh, brilliant. I'm really happy for him.
I'm really happy for him. Well done, Dan.
Yeah. Whoop.
We have some more slow-mo shots of the crowds buying stuff.
Yeah.
And then to Adam, who talks about designer Chris Myers, about his feature garden, RHS Miner's Garden.
Yes.
So feature garden, as is mentioned later, it means they aren't judged in any way. So
That must be nice.
there's no award at the end of it.
Yeah.
Other
Can
than
chill.
everyone thinking it's great.
Exactly.
That's award enough.
Completely.
And Chris is looking at the connection between mining and gardening. So we then meet Chris and we get a little segment on him.
Yeah, we do.
And he talks about what was involved in creating the show feature for Wentworth Woodhouse, how it was all about coal mining, how coal miners were down to pits 9 to 10 hours a day, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
So they needed a place in the fresh air when they came back up.
Which I think is so, so important. You can imagine.
Yeah, gosh, essential, I would have
Yeah,
thought.
completely.
To clear those lungs out. But he does talk about it in a very kind of favourable way, how it was a very happy time for coal miners because, you know, they had jobs and there was a sense of community.
Yeah, that's rather lovely.
And then he talks about this community garden called Homegrown, which was set up by Abby Box in Eastby. And she talks about how they had there was this patch of land that was going for sale and she wanted to do something really positive with it, so she bought it and then set it up as a community garden. And someone donated 1,500 trees, which was just what a gift to get that when you've just bought this place.
Yeah, if anyone wants to donate us 1,500 trees, I'm absolutely happy to have
wouldn't
them.
Wow, can you imagine?
We'd have a forest. That would be so
We'd
so
have
cool.
an arboretum.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to plant anything else ever again. Just
I don't
be
think so.
completely shaded out.
Bliss.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I'm dreaming now.
We are dreaming. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so Chris is working with Abby. They are actually going to be providing all the vegetables, all the plants for his show garden.
Like sweet corn, courgettes, dumplings, squashes, peas, cabbages.
All sorts.
All of those guys.
And we also meet some of the people involved. They were young, not so young.
Yeah, all ages.
Sorts, all ages, all rubbing along nicely together.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved the chap talking to camera. I don't think we got a name.
No, we didn't.
And he says, if they've got a problem, they come and ask me. But, you know, even if I don't know the answer, I'll have something to say. And I thought, that reminds me of someone, Sweet Pea.
What? What?
That's entirely like you.
Who's that?
Anyway, he talks about how he got the gardening bug from his parents and how he subsequently has had 4 children. And it was really critical to have to be growing their own veg, just really to put food on the table.
Oh, completely.
And wages weren't particularly high. And it was just interesting hearing it because obviously we know the ideal thing is to be self-sufficient from what we grow.
Yeah, completely.
Often for us it's kind of a hobby because we're not as successful as someone who's self-sufficient.
No.
It did make me think we could really learn a thing or two from these guys who are obviously doing it very efficiently. They're getting what they need to be able to feed their families.
It did look amazing, and I mean the plot was just full of produce.
I think we need to revisit how we're doing things.
Yeah.
A lot of the time we try to do the latest thing, you know, like square foot gardening and growing things up. Or, I mean, that's a good idea, but we do, you know what I mean?
Things up.
we do,
I get it.
Some weird, funky things at times.
Yeah. I mean, I do like to experiment sometimes because, of course, there are the things like the Roma tomatoes I've always known have done extremely well in the garden. But I wanted to experiment with the purple ones and this year with the ananas ones.
It is fun.
So I wanted to see. And for instance, this year, actually, even though last year this did not do well whatsoever, was this celebration Indian popcorn corn. It's a completely multicoloured sweet corn. So you get it off the plant and you have all these multicolours on it. It's amazing. And last year I put it in the ground and I don't know what happened to them, but they just did not do well. They were leggy, they were awful. But I think the reason was because they were in the shade with the courgettes. And this time they've gone into a very sunny spot. I planted them out nice and early. They're looking absolutely great and they're starting to grow little corn cobs.
Great. Well, that's good news.
I will obviously be we'll put a photo of that once we get rainbow sweet corn. Okay,
and it's great, the experimenting to an extent in that these are our first few years in the game, and so finding out what does work best. So which of the peas, which of the beans, for example. And then I feel we should continue doing that rather than trying new things each year.
Yeah.
So we know which beetroot works really well. We know which tomatoes work really well. Aubergines are great, but is it a good use of our space? I know you like your Parmigiana, but that is just basically cheese and tomato and garlic and then a bit of aubergine. Yeah. It's just an excuse to eat loads of cheese, isn't it?
It's a huge excuse, but it's the best excuse.
Yeah. So I just feel, you know, now's the time to settle down and go with what works and stop trying new things. I know that appalls you probably.
It does appall me.
But also you're not going to be here. You're going to be at uni.
Yeah, exactly. So I suppose you can do what you want.
I can do. What? Oh my gosh. I'm going to have control of the veg garden at last. Wow. Okay, when do you start?
I will wait for you to come running to me going, Sweet Pea, what is this? How do I do this? When do I plant this? How do I pop this up?
Anyway, but obviously these guys know what they were doing.
Yeah.
They were doing it because it was critical. So they needed to have the veg available to feed their families.
Yeah.
So this is a very sort of down-to-earth garden. This is very functional, very practical. But Chris also made it absolutely stunning. And I loved how he said he went and had a meeting. He called them these 2 lovely ladies called Betty and Kay.
Yeah.
And they chatted over tea and cake.
Very important.
And he came away with 6 pages of notes, he said.
Yes.
Of all the things to include in his show garden.
Wow. Crikey, yeah.
But apparently we see them, Betty and Kay, and they were quite emotional with how brilliant it was. They absolutely loved what he'd done. I loved it because
I did.
They here had a miner's cottage. I don't know how that was built.
That was amazing.
That was incredible. But that with the garden that was really sort of a walk down memory lane, I imagine, for a lot of people. It reminded me of some of the museums I used to take you to when you were younger, and they were set up like that. It was kind of a walk back in time to see how people lived, and you'd have kind of a living museum almost, and you'd have actors in the workshop and
oh my gosh,
and the scullery.
One that I do remember is one in Switzerland. Actually, we went to this old Roman kind of city, and there were actors who were kind of doing their day-to-day routine. Yeah, with my grossmutter. And that one was really cool. So yes, and I remember these ones as well in the UK.
Yeah, I loved it. I think he did a great job.
I think so.
Next, we have Arit, who shows us the RHS Teenage Dirt Park. This is another feature garden.
So cool.
By designer Rachel Platt.
Yeah.
We've got some funky shots of kids zooming around on their BMXs on the track. You
like
loved that,
really, really cool. So there was that BMX track. Then there was a little chill area.
Chill out zone.
Music, just to chill out. And then at the same time, really nice planting all around.
A wild meadow.
That
was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, had some graffiti art to add some colour to it at the same time. I just really liked everything put into it. In the wild meadow, Arit talked about yarrow, reed grass, achilles, echinacea. So it was all these really nice colours, schemes everywhere.
So it appealed to you, and that's good because you were the demographic it's trying to appeal to.
I thought that's so cool. To have like this almost adventure playground in a garden at the same time.
It was lovely, wasn't it?
I thought it was a really, really good idea.
Then we've got the Grant Horticulture Xeriscape Garden, designer Callum Bain Mackay.
Yes.
Joe and Arit were looking at this.
They were.
It was one of the long borders.
It was, and it was very muted tones, very free-draining gravel, drought-tolerant plants, with then these huge kind of terracotta-coloured clay
rendered walls, weren't they?
Yeah,
with those circular holes in them.
Which is nice, a little frame looking through, a little kind of shed some light.
We've seen that a few times actually this year.
I do like
shows, haven't we?
I do like these very specifically placed gaps so that you can look through or light can come through onto a plant or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very nice little picture frames.
And this was based on a brownfield site. Apparently you can write your own brief.
Oh, yes.
That was interesting about the borders.
Which Arit and Joe were very happy to hear about. Exactly. Sounds a lot of fun. And then at the same time, you can go and get a gold.
Exactly. A nice gold for Callum.
Wowzers.
I'd never heard of xeriscaping.
No.
It's a new word for me.
Nope.
But it turns out Sweet Pea were mostly xeriscapers.
Oh.
Are you my little xeriscaper?
Am I your xeriscaper?
Because we are basically... So xeriscaping is the process of landscaping or gardening that reduces or eliminates the need for irrigation. So if you set our veg garden aside, we're xeriscaping everything else.
Yeah.
We do not water a single thing. Apart from when we put it in the ground.
Obviously, but that's just a
and maybe
thing.
A few days after.
Yeah.
But not even much of that, because we just put it in the ground at the right time of year. And,
yeah, exactly.
And we also try and time it for when we see on the forecast there's going to be rain.
Exactly. Sometimes we're even doing it in the rain just before a thunderstorm, charging inside, going,
just getting it in. Then we've got the Discovery Outdoors Elemental Kitchen Classroom, and this is designer Sam Penrose and Jojo Tarvett.
Yes.
It's a college where all the students have special education needs.
Yeah.
And all the veg and herbs have been grown by the students.
I think that's very, very cool.
It was teeming with life, wasn't it? Loads and loads and loads of bees.
I know, just everything everywhere. Yeah. It was wowzers.
In fact, I found that overall there were so many insects.
There were.
I feel like I noticed more
than usual. Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder. We should look into that more.
I think so.
Well, they won a gold.
Brilliant.
Then we have, what is this life if, full of care, we have no time to stand and stare?
I thought that was a very, very long title.
It was. Well, designers Sally Holder and Victoria Irish, and that lengthy title is a direct quote from the poem Leisure by William Henry Davies. And the poem expresses how important it is for our quality of life to take time to appreciate nature.
Very, very good point. I like that. Well, both Arit and Joe were like, not many people like yellow and orange. And this garden was full of yellow and orange.
It was sunshine, wasn't it?
It was sunshine. I don't get why people don't like yellow and orange. Yellow sometimes, I suppose it can be quite... Sometimes a bit of an acid yellow or just a bit too much brash.
Some yellows do not work for me at all.
Yeah.
Like I find them quite depressing. The orangey yellows, for example, on the helianthus type plants, I love.
Love those.
I love them on, not echinacea, but the other one.
Rudbeckia. I like it on a pale yellow on a rose. It's really pretty.
Gorgeous, yeah.
And it always looks very nice. For instance, I like the mound at Monty's.
Yeah.
Because he does lots of pale yellows and blues.
He's using loads of yellows. It's the whole theme there, isn't it?
Exactly. But I think pale yellow and blue is, perfect together.
And as for orange, well, I used to think I didn't. You said I want more orange in the garden. We put some in and I was converted instantly.
Yeah, and it just works.
You can't not have it. And I need it with the purples. We have the agapanthus, and there's just a crossover period of time when the crocosmia come in, which plants next to it. I love those two together.
They're brilliant. I'm going to say something very controversial. I think people who don't like orange...
Wait, where are you going with this?
...are missing out on life.
Okay, well, fair enough. That's less controversial than I was worrying about.
You're just missing out. I'm sorry.
Well, this one got a gold as well.
Brilliant.
Then Frances talks about a garden that's getting a lot of attention. It's called the June Garden, and the designer is Jacopo Ducato Ruggeri. He's an Italian.
I mean, if I wasn't Italian, that was pretty good.
Sardinia in Italy is where he's from, but now based in Switzerland.
Oh, yes. Back to our place.
And he talks about how this garden was inspired by a trip to Fire Island, New York. And I hadn't known about this. He describes it as a meaningful place for queer people, because it's part of the LGBTQ. I think it's the Q in LGBTQ.
LGBTQ.
Thank you. So he went to Fire Island. Apparently this is a very tranquil place to go.
Yeah, it looked amazing.
Without judgment, just a really sort of free place to be.
Yeah.
And he wanted visitors of his garden to get that same feeling of freedom, liberation and safety, really. I guess a safe place is the key word.
Oh, completely.
Feeling safe, isn't it?
And just nature doing its thing. And the photos and the little films that he sent through,
beautiful.
It was really lovely, and you got this sense of just somewhere where you can breathe.
Yeah.
And I loved his garden. He represented it so perfectly. Yeah. And the best thing about it, I think this was great, was walking barefoot in the sand.
Yeah, he was with Frances, wasn't he?
Yeah.
She had to kick off her shoes.
Luckily, she was wearing sandals.
Right,
so very easy to kick off. And they just walked through the sand, and I thought walking through sand is so
it's
lovely.
Bliss, isn't it? If it's not hot.
Yeah, of course. Otherwise, you're
like,
going, ooch.
It's like walking on the surface of the sun, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, yeah. But I thought that was so lovely. And then this bench, and it was really rustic, and then all
tusky grass and sand dunes.
I love tusky grass.
And that fence is so sand duney, isn't it? You've seen
kind of
that
battered
fence. Not just Fire Island, but all around the world I've seen that kind of fence.
Yeah, exactly.
And the bench was kind of made out of those fence pieces almost. It looked like it was very similar.
Exactly. And I just thought it was brilliant, and I can understand why people thought it was just the most amazing space.
I'm always going to love any sea evoking type space.
Exactly, yeah.
And of course this was. And he does talk about the challenges of building with sand.
Oh my gosh, it's so difficult.
Really hard. You don't think about it when you see it, because it didn't look like he had challenges, because it all fitted together very well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did fit together
once
really
you
well.
Actually think about it, you think, crikey, how do you handle that?
I don't know. Mad.
And he does say at one point about Fire Island that there was something very empowering about the place, and how nature would frame some of the queer images in the landscape.
Yeah.
I would really love to know more about that. What he means by it.
Yeah.
I think he'd be someone very interesting to chat to.
I think so as well.
Very different perspective on things. Well, he got a silver gilt for his garden.
Well, I thought he should have got a gold, because it was so amazing.
Was that one of your favourites?
One of my favourites.
Yeah. I think that whole walking on sand
I just
barefoot
sit
is
there.
a really nice feeling, isn't it?
It's also somewhere you can imagine you just sit, you just think.
Contemplate life.
Contemplate life.
Yeah.
And just look at the sea and the horizon.
Amazing.
Blissful.
Then we've got the Green Fingers Charity Together Garden, designers Phil Hurst and Joe Charlton. And Joe and Arit talk about how that garden's already designed to go into the Bluebell Wood Children's Hospice.
Yep.
And Joe says how important these spaces outside hospitals are, which is, for me, just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
He says about connecting people with horticulture and nature. Yeah. Just essential. And goodness me, when we have our walks, we just are looking at everything from, even if it's the cows in the field, to be honest, which isn't the most natural of nature.
No,
but anything from that to that spider that scuttled past me on the path this morning.
Oh, that was
at
so
breakneck
sweet.
Speeds.
Yeah.
Then you've got Hobbs is up and about, wants to chat.
Oh my gosh, stop attacking me, please. Thank you, darling.
Then you've got the wind in the trees, especially the silver birches make a really lovely noise. Hobbsy, are you all right? So absolute no-brainer.
Completely. And all about having family and friends come together and sit down with their loved ones and just chat for a bit.
A nice calm space for that.
Completely.
And there were so many butterflies around. Did you see that?
Oh my gosh, entirely.
Well, they won a silver gilt. Next, we have Urban Pollinators designer Richard Browning. This is a 6 metre by 6 metre space.
It is full of echinops, coreopsis and lavender.
And also completely void of any lawn. So just gravel everywhere.
Gravel everywhere and pine cones in the borders.
Yeah, I liked the pine cones in the borders a lot. Jury's out for me with all the gravel.
I know. I was very interested when they said, okay, got rid of all the lawn. I was like, brilliant, brilliant. And then there was a lot of gravel.
You know, especially when we've seen episodes with people like Martin Dawn, who was showing the bees in his garden. Yeah. How important the lawn is.
It is.
How much goes on in it. Yeah.
And it's very pretty still.
So I think I've just been converted to having a lawn area, letting things grow a bit more.
It looks pretty as well. Green is always a nice backdrop.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this one didn't get any medal from what I could see. But then we had Hazelwood Barn designer Lee Bestel.
Okie dokes.
Now, do you recognise that name?
No.
This was from our chit-chat with lovely Owen Heyman. He mentioned Lee Bestel. Oh. He was on our chit-chats episode 38. Owen used to work for Lee, and he is the guy Owen described as being just the nicest person in the world.
Oh my gosh.
And who really invested in Owen and gave him lots of opportunities to learn and develop.
Oh, interesting.
So this is him. I think Owen also still now, even though he doesn't work for Lee, writes a blog for him on his website.
Okie dokes.
I think it's called Bestel & Co.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, I loved this. There was the bath in the back and that cute little hut.
Absolutely loved this one, yeah.
And then I loved the corkscrew hazel with roses growing up it.
Yes, wasn't that a great idea?
That?
Well, they won a gold, the People's Choice Best in Show Garden and the Environmental Innovation Award.
I mean, a lot of people won a gold at this.
It did.
It was amazing.
Next, Frances introduces an exhibitor in the floral marquee. This is Dean Charlton.
It is.
And we get a little film segment of him at his amazing nursery called Huttonwald Nursery in Rotherham. So it's right next door.
Exactly, so it's perfect for them.
Just spitting distance, yeah. And he talks about how the nursery that he and his dad now run was one that they visited when he was younger.
Yeah, it's rather sweet.
Yeah, and he said it when he were knee height of a grasshopper. Yep. That's a saying your grandfather says a lot. And he said how, you know, that nursery slowly went into disrepair. And then he went off, did various studies. He worked at Great Dixter for 6 years.
And Chatto Gardens.
And with Beth Chatto, And then he returned to Rotherham and he and his family set up the 4-acre nursery a couple of years ago.
Which is amazing, and the huge amount of work that they had to do, because you saw the disrepair that it went into.
Yeah. Well, Dean is another person you should recognise from our chit-chat with Owen. Gosh, that one with Owen Heyman,
I know.
He just filled our brains with so much information.
He did.
Well, Dean was someone that he recommended. He said that he's a really, really, really nice guy. And
that was this Dean?
Yep, he has this nursery. It's one of the ones he recommended. Do you remember when he said Dean, who worked at Great Dixter, so he took his Great Dixter knowledge. So it's kind of, if you're up north and want a Great Dixter, you know, some of the,
Nuss, yeah.
So
if in doubt, put nuss on the end.
Yeah, the plants being propagated and grown as they would be at Great Dixter. There's your place to go, right there in Rotherham.
Right there. I mean, he had so much knowledge and stuff that I'd never seen before.
Well, and if you look at Dean's website, he talks about how it was 6 years at Great Dixter.
Wow.
So he had 3 years under the guidance of head gardener Fergus Garrett, who we have heard about.
We sure have.
And then 3 years in their nursery with manager Michael Morphy. And he says a lovely thing about Fergus Garrett, about how he's just always very giving. Very giving with his knowledge and time.
Lovely. Yeah.
And really wants to share as much as possible.
Oh, that's really nice.
And I think you got that feel from Dean as well.
You did. He just wanted to offload all this information.
And so nicely done. Like, didn't you just adore Dean?
He should be a presenter. He
should be.
Such a lovely style.
This is leading on to my point. Wouldn't you just love him to be a Gardener's World presenter?
I would love him to be a Gardener's World presenter.
Exudes warmth, knowledge, obviously.
Of course.
And kindness.
Yeah, there was a kindness, wasn't there?
Yeah, and a beautiful style.
If you were to go and do work experience with him, I feel that you'd have the best time, and you'd come away with a booklet of knowledge.
The thing is, he's probably far too busy to present for God as well when he's running that amazing nursery.
Yeah, that will take a lot of time.
Well, on his segment, he shows us a few little hints and tips, doesn't he?
I know. I was like, great, top takeaway, ahoy, let's go. So he talked about bulb chipping, not bud chipping, bulb chipping, which I did not know about. He said it really works with snowdrops. I did look up. You can also do it with daffodils, alliums, irises and hyacinths.
Great.
So you can do it with quite a few different things. And he decided to do an example with the Godfrey Owen snowdrop, which I thought was perfect since Owen recommended him.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Bringing back Owen. And so he took all of the kind of skin and the kind of dried up bit around the bulb and then washed it and then cut it really precisely into 8. I think he cut it into 8.
half again and half again of those pieces.
Yeah.
The key thing he did say was keeping everything sterile.
Keeping everything sterile and keeping that little basil bit where the roots come off. Mm-hmm. You need that bit because otherwise you're not going to really get much.
Yeah.
Exactly. Keep it all sterile, wash it again. Then you can put in a bit of water with vermiculite in a pot. Keep it in a kind of sealed... like
a Tupperware.
Yeah, a little Tupperware like you would for picnics.
And he said 11 parts vermiculite, 1 part water. So really quite dry.
And keep that for 12 weeks and then you should get some roots and you can pot it up. And there you go.
At 20 degrees as well, he said.
Yeah.
They're quite precise about that. In a shady place.
In a shady place, of course. And Bosch, Robert's your father's brother.
Robert's your father's brother.
You've got a new plant.
Exactly. What else did he do?
Then he went on to talk about the Baltic parsley, very pretty plant, and of course a nice umbella for white flowers. Really lacy one as well. I looked it up and it's very kind of poofy, so it's perfect. And then he was kind of potting up those little seedlings, which he had in one pot, and delicately by one true leaf putting it in the soil.
Pricking them out.
And putting them in so that the one true leaf was only just above the soil.
I loved how he described it with he sort of put his head on his hands.
Yeah.
To show how far in the soil you should put it.
Yeah.
Just a little head poking out.
And then he went on to talk about this umbrella plant, which you can turn upside down so that the leafy bit is in water.
Yeah, this propagating technique he learnt from his dad actually.
Yeah.
This time.
And you just plonk it upside down in the water and suddenly roots start growing from kind of the central area of the kind of all the leaves coming off it. Very, very quickly. You can do the exact same with the variegated giant reed. Mm-hmm. That's normal way up, so that's kind of coming from the bottom of the stem that you've cut.
Again, a couple of weeks it takes to start getting the roots.
And also you can do it with edibles such as mint, basil, sage, and even avocados.
We really don't need to do it with our mint.
We really do not. And I wouldn't advise doing it with mint unless you want a lot of it in pots.
And then Dean chats about why he wants to do RHS Wentworth. Mm-hmm. And basically it seems to be because it's right next door.
Yeah, nice and easy to pop over.
Yeah.
And also one last thing. He showed this great top takeaway of putting in these willow leaf sunflowers in a pot so that they would grow out horizontally but vertically when you tip the pot on its side.
Because he duct taped the stem to the side of the pot.
Exactly, so it would kind of grow up with a 90-degree angle. Then you could shove it in the wall and water it nicely so it looked like it was just there for the show garden.
And this is the beautiful dry stone skip wall he's calling it.
With some bricks in there.
Got various bricks and had all sorts of things going on in there.
Everything.
But he said the bricks in the wall are all from Rotherham. And he said that in that region there were at least 7 brick makers. So he was putting those in and they've got kind of their brick maker printed names on the bricks. So lovely touch.
I do like that. And then finally, when we were in his kind of show area in the flora marquee, Arit looked at this one plant which was called the arrow-leafed sage.
Yes.
Wow. That is a sage that I need to get because it also has really, really pretty flowers. It's got blue flowers.
Oh, interesting, because he said you really have this mostly for the foliage.
Yeah, because the foliage is absolutely gorgeous, but
the flower is lovely as well, isn't it?
There are these blue flowers and a real blue as well, not a purple blue.
No. Dean got a silver gilt medal for that garden.
Yes, brilliant.
He just seems like a man who knows his plants.
He does.
I would love to have a chat with him.
I really want to have a chat with him.
Let's see if we can manifest that, sweet pea.
Gosh, and I'll be having a notepad next to me to jot down all of his top takeaways.
Jamie's indoors where there's the veg growing.
Yes, the veg exhibit.
And we find out a bit more about Jamie himself,
Yeah.
don't we? He says how he's always been very competitive but rubbish at all sports, unlike his brother,
Yeah.
who was very good at it. But he was awesome at growing veg.
Exactly. So he went crazy with doing veg.
And he explains how all the veg are grown to sheer perfection and they're just purely for the visuals, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we've got Joe, who is in the RHS Work With Your Garden.
Yeah.
That's another feature garden, so it won't be judged. And really, it's getting the message across to go with what you've got.
Yeah, exactly. So if you've got a sunny bit, if you've got a semi-shade, if you've got shade, work with different plants. You've got a mound free draining, or if you've got a kind of ditch, so it's all kind of boggy. So for example, in the semi-shade area, slightly mounded up, there were grasses in there. There was a kind of birch retaining wall. I liked that.
I like that.
Really pretty. Add that kind of silvery reflective surface almost. And then there was Persicaria and Hacknacloas. And then in the full shade area, there were lots of lush greens and purples, dry stone wall, and then great little area was the subterranean fernery.
With a couple of grills
under the grills.
in amongst the pavers.
Very, very cool.
And then you've got your subterranean garden.
Yeah, exactly. How pretty to look down and see all of that underneath.
Lovely touch. Then we have more slow-mo shots of people visiting the show, and then we're back to Jamie. And he talks about Greg Anderton from Leafy Lytham.
Yes.
That's another exhibit in the floral marquee.
Yeah.
And very, very bold colours.
Oh my gosh. I was
right
in
up our
heaven.
street, yeah.
I was in complete and utter heaven.
Well,
And
he says his style is high impact. He likes happy colours that make people smile. And he hit the nail on the head, I thought, here.
He made me smile.
Yeah.
I looked at it and went, this is what I'm talking about, people.
Really worked. And Greg gives us a little bit of backstory about how he got into gardening and into his nursery.
It's always interesting to see what gave him the spike.
Well, it started very early on. So we see the gorgeous photo of him in his little red wellies.
Oh my gosh, so sweet.
And his grandparents really encouraged him. So they gave him a little corner of their garden to be his own little patch, Greg's patch.
Exactly.
And then even when he was at his primary school, he joined the gardening club. And when they won their first prize, their first competition.
That was so amazing.
That was just the catalyst for him on his gardening journey.
There we go.
And then he would start, I loved it when he said his friends would ask for computer games,
Xboxes,
or playing cards, for Christmas presents, and he asked for a greenhouse. It sounds like, from what he says, that he got the greenhouse, because he then talks about how he was propagating in his greenhouse
and selling plants then afterwards,
and then selling them. And he raised £40.
Oh, that was so
at
sweet.
at the school summer fair. But you know that at that age, the excitement of earning money is so massive.
He gave it away to charity.
Well, absolutely. I mean,
so sweet.
That makes sense. But that really just he kept on climbing and climbing with his career at such a young age. And then it was interesting because it was 8 years ago he was doing a talk for a local charity, and he was telling them how he got started and said how he'd love to have his own plant centre one day.
Yeah.
And the new general manager was standing at the back and afterwards said that they would like one there, and would he be interested in running it?
I know.
So 6 months later he opened his own plant centre.
Which is so amazing. So
fantastic.
amazing. But then at the same time has the most stunning and beautiful garden at
home.
Oh,
amazing. So he said his first home dated back to 1850.
There's like a front garden, then a kind of side patch, and then the back garden.
And the front garden was fairly traditional, sort of tarmac path, straight path, and then 2 blocks of lawn either side.
Yeah.
We see the before and after, and he has transformed it, hasn't he?
He has. And then he added in features, which are just stunning. He added in this kind of slate ball in the middle, looked like it was made of loads of slates.
Yeah.
Water feature. I love that when it kind of trickles down the side.
Me too. And because it had all the ledges, it sort of tinkled down.
Wasn't that so beautiful? And then a mosaic of cobbles.
That was incredible. And I really loved that.
Cut it all into 4 little sections.
You like that, don't you?
I love a good 4 sections. And then there was this very kind of cottage garden-y, lots of dahlias, foxgloves, daisies, really kind of pretty. And then people could just kind of look in over the wall.
Yeah, chatting away to him.
Chat away.
But the joy it brings, we know what it's like when, well, just looking around gardens or the NGS provides that kind of joy. But his is right there. Just walk along the pavement, you can see it.
How lucky. Wow, that's amazing.
Lovely to have that on your road.
And then you go round the side, completely different feel, which is amazing. This was the side part of the garden, very coastal planting.
Coastal vibe, yeah.
So we had verbenas, we had scabious, we had salvia, steeper tenuissima, of course, to give that waftiness.
And then he talks about his next garden project is his Mediterranean garden, and that's round Tut back.
Round Tut back with lots of lavender. He wants it to be full of lavender.
Very vibrant colours.
And very vibrant colours. And it was in the back garden, I think it was, that he was showing us the pot theatre display that he's going to be creating for the show. And he was giving a few top tips of raising up pots, creating a kind of centre one, then medium, high, low ones, all kind of around, arranged in this slightly circular oval form. And they were going to be filled with Cosmos Apollo White, really pretty white one.
More dwarfing habit, he said, for that.
Yeah, which is great. So you
Loads of flowers.
Get too floppiness.
Too much floppiness, you say? Shaking around all floppy.
Yeah. Then there was this Dahlia Maxi Starburst Pink. Oh my gosh. I went to heaven and back. This was so gorgeous.
That was stunning, wasn't it?
So beautiful. Wow, I loved that. Absolutely loved it. And then scabious, of course. And then finally, when we saw his beautiful pot theatre in the floral marquee, he showed the amazing delphiniums, which were very...
Wow, yeah.
He was really scared about them because they're quite tricky plants. It's so hard to get that perfect spire of flowers.
And it's timing as well, isn't it?
My
he said, once they drop, they just completely drop.
Exactly.
So
it's
there'd be
not
no
like they
good with it.
Yeah, exactly. He had the Paramo Black Velvet. Wow.
Yeah.
And then a Neva, which was a really nice contrast of a kind of creamy yellow next to it.
It was interesting because it was very jewel garden-like, and yet he wasn't... You know how Monty is so regimental about not having white in his jewel garden.
And he doesn't want a single pastel in there.
But you can see this really worked in Greg's garden in his exhibit.
I loved it.
And I loved how he said he was determined to get a gold, because he does get a gold, of course.
I know. So he knew what he wanted and he got it.
And then towards the end, there was a quick whiz through. Joe was at Hart's Nursery talking about their lilies.
Yeah, all the lilies.
They're considered master growers this year with over 100 medals.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. And I had a look on their website, on their Instagram page, showing what their exhibit was like. It was magnificent. It was huge as well. They had a lot of floor space for all their lilies.
I mean, you can imagine. They had tree lilies, they had rose lilies, all for different areas. Rose lilies, especially for acidic soil.
And also the rose ones don't stain. They don't have the staining stamens.
Oh,
so
crikey.
as he said, he could get a lot closer, even in his posh jacket.
Yeah, he was very dapper, wasn't he?
He was very dapper. And then finally we have Jamie, Frances and Adam. They're walking around the house, and then Frances and Jamie go off one way, Adam the other.
Yeah.
Frances, Jamie looking at cubes.
Yeah, the cube gardens, I find these absolutely hilarious. They're
Community
so cool.
cubes. They were gorgeous ones, and they only flashed past them.
There was the Girls' Guide one with colour themes with the badges. Really liked that. That was gorgeous.
And then there was Jimmy's NHS Wellbeing Garden that had the birch, a hazel, a water feature.
Yes,
that big, shallow, wide metal basin. I loved that.
I did love that.
Jimmy's actually refers to St James's University Hospital, which is known locally as Jimmy's.
Ah, okie dokie.
Then Adam's looking at community containers. There were some gorgeous ones. He looked at that wheelbarrow with some decaying wood, moss.
It so looked like you'd just left it there.
I really liked the look,
things just started growing. And as you said, cycle of life, moss, food, flowers, all having that life cycle of kind of growing, decaying, then coming back up.
Yeah.
So cool.
Circle of life.
Yeah.
It reminds me, actually, I saw something online, these kind of container growing, where you'll have a pot that's fallen over and then a swathe of ground cover flowers coming out.
Pretty,
so it looks like water's tipped over, or maybe a watering can on its side.
I do love that.
And I saw one that had gone to such an extreme. It was an abandoned lorry or an abandoned truck on the side of a road, and then the planting of plants cascading down out the back of this truck.
That is very, very cool. Love that.
And then finally Joe and Arit say goodbye from Steve's garden, the miner's cottage garden.
They sure do.
So Sweet Pea, a lot that we went through there.
I know.
Tell me your favourite plant.
My favourite plant. Oh, it was between the Maxi Starburst pink dahlia.
You're going to say the delphinium, aren't you?
The arrow-leafed sage.
Oh, okay.
Because I've never seen it before, and it's really, really pretty.
Well, go with the arrow-leafed sage.
I will go with the arrow-leafed sage.
I'm going with the Delina Maxi Starburst pink.
Okay.
That was Greg Anderton's Leafy Lytham, wasn't it?
It sure was. What's your top takeaway?
Crikey, a lot, but probably I liked Greg, again with Greg, I loved his cobbled mosaic a lot.
Oh my gosh, it was stunning.
And then also the fact that Joe's a bass guitarist.
Very good point.
Surprised the heck out of me.
Yeah. Mine was just having a BMX dirt park
You'd like
in the
that.
Middle of your garden.
With your chill out zone.
Chill out zone is just so cool. I thought, wow, I so need that.
You so need that, for sure. Well, let's have a look at what's on next week, which will be episode 18.
With Monty.
Back with Monty. Monty is checking how the garden is coping with the dry summer. And in the veg garden, this means making choices on which plants to water and which to leave. Oh, we kind of talked about that earlier, didn't we? So that'll be good to see.
Very cool.
There are also broad beans and potatoes to harvest, and he takes Philadelphus cuttings.
Cool.
Arit meets a gardener in Kent who has a deep connection with nature and whose beautiful garden is full of wildflowers, romance and butterflies.
Ooh.
Jamie Butterworth is back. He is at Battersea Dog and Cat's home installing Monty's Chelsea dog garden to its forever home.
That would be interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah, and with the help of 2 of its canine residents, finding out why it would be so important for the dogs there.
Lovely.
There's a couple in Cambridge whose garden's centrepiece is a stunning 18th century windmill, plus a grower who is exuberant about her huge collection of echevera.
Oh, righty-ho. That's going to be a fun episode next week.
Well, that's us for this week.
Sure is.
And if you want to get in touch, here's how.
If you have any questions, feedback or comments, you can get in touch with us on our contact page at notjustagarden.co.uk or via our email, which is notjustagarden@outlook.com, or you can even find us on Facebook or Instagram and come visit us there and hit the follow button. And if you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world if you could post a 5-star review. It really helps our podcast climb up the pile. If you didn't enjoy it, bigger polls from us, and please don't. For more Sweet Pea and Bear content, including videos, blogs, guest garden lists, early access to episodes, podcast outtakes, which are great, and community chats, come join us on our Patreon. You can find a link on our website.
Well, thanks very much for listening. We'll see you next week.
We sure will.
Bye bye, Sweet Pea.
Bye, Mommy Bear.